Hey guys, it is me. I am going to share with you some notes about practicing with unit rates. I wanted to go through this with you so you knew what to do on the assignment today. Let me just present this. All right, practicing with unit rates. So what is a unit rate? A unit rate, we talked about yesterday, is that it tells the price of one item. It tells you the amount of one. We talked about how a ratio, a rate has two items being compared in their relationship. This is the same thing, just making sure one of them comes down to one. So for example, this says Johnny spent $75 on 15 hamburgers. Johnny was hungry. At this rate, how much does one hamburger cost? So we want to know the cost of one hamburger. So we know that 15 costs 75. What does one cost? Would it make sense for one hamburger to cost $75? Why? It doesn't make sense at all because you are buying 15 hamburgers for $75, so it wouldn't make sense. So we want to find out the reasons why this wouldn't be that. So why wouldn't it make sense for one hamburger to cost $1? He'd be buying 75 hamburgers. You understand this. We're not going to waste time on that. So do we add, subtract, multiply, or divide to solve the problem in yellow? Why or why not? We talked yesterday, we're going to be doing division. So we're going to solve the problem above. What you do is you take 75 divided by 15. You could write it like that, or you could write it in fraction form like we talked about and get that down to 1. So you would divide down to 1, divide 75 to 15, so the top number would get down to 5. So it would be $5 for every one hamburger. That means they took all the money, $75, split it evenly, and each hamburger cost $5. Those must be some good hamburgers. All right, so if each hamburger costs $5, how much do the 15 hamburgers cost? What are some different ways you can find out? So here they have all the different hamburgers. They have them bunched together. Think about some ways. If you can think of a different way than what we've been talking about, feel free to share that with me. So now back to the question of what is a unit rate? A unit rate also describes how much one of something would be. So for example, minutes per song, miles per hour, seats per row, flowers per vase. You could keep on going with tons of different examples. So in this next problem, it takes Mary 12 minutes to play 3 songs on her piano. About how long is each song? So to solve that, you would divide 12 divided by 3. Each song is about 4 minutes, okay? It might not be 4 minutes exactly, but roughly 4 minutes. There's your answer. That's what I just said. Moving on. So a unit rate describes how much of one of something would be. Here's how we would write them as ratios. This is what I was talking about today, or yesterday for you. $5 for one hamburger. You could read it as $5 per one burger, $5 divided by one burger. One burger is $5. 4 minutes per one song. That's usually how we hear it, like miles per hour, 4 minutes per song. So this bar means a few different things. This is what we were actually solving in that hamburger problem. We had 75 over 15, the cost over the burgers, equals $5 over one burger, the cost over the burger. This is what I showed you yesterday in the notes. So how do we get from 15 to 1? We have to divide 15 divided by 15. And then we take 75 divided by 15. We talked about that. Same thing. We did 3 divided by 3, 12 divided by 3. It's very simple once you see it like that. But sometimes you're going to have to do more than just divide to find an answer. So for example, Johnny bought $75 on 15 hamburgers. At this rate, how much do 20 hamburgers cost? Now we're going to be doing what we just did, and then we have to take it another step further. So we know that $75 over 15 hamburgers was $5 for one hamburger, how much would it cost for 20 hamburgers? So that X that they put in right here, that X means we don't know what goes there. We're going to have to multiply or divide to find the equivalent ratios. So we can't add 5 on the bottom and 5 on top. We have to multiply or divide. Pretty simple. So we know he paid $75 for 15. Each one is 5. How much would 20 burgers cost? Just asking it again. It would cost 100. So where does that 100 come from? That's what they're going to show us. This is doing it without pictures. The X means we're trying to figure out what number goes there. We already know 100 goes there, but let's solve this without any pictures, anything like that, just with numbers. So what we're multiplying is going to be one of these numbers. We're going to be multiplying the 75. There's your hint. We need to figure out how to get to the 100. So to do that, we need to figure out where we're going here. So 75 times 20, they're doing cross multiplication. So cross multiplying is exactly what it sounds like. You multiply the numbers that are across from each other. So think of it like a bigger X. 75 times 20 equals 1,500. 15 times X equals 15X. This is where we're getting into some algebra. So now we have 1,500 equals 15X. That's what we did on the last slide. We need to get that X by itself to figure out how much it is. So you divide both sides by the number with the variable beside it. A variable is this unknown number. So we're taking 1,500 divided by 15. And so you're just thinking of it, get rid of these zeros, do 15 divided by 15, you get 1. Add those 2 zeros back. That's where the X equals 100 comes from. So we could also look at it this way. $75 for 15 burgers equals $100 for 20 burgers. We did this part first to get down to 1. And if we do the same thing with this ratio, we're going to get the same thing. So they are equivalent, they are equal. So really quickly going back, you could also set it up another way, which I will show you next week, where you have this here, and then you multiply times 20, multiply times 20 up here, you would get the same thing. It's just a different way of looking at it, and it might make more sense that way in your head. So today, what you're going to do is this page. You are looking at 5 different items. There are carrots, hot dogs, candy, potato chips, and eggs. And you need to figure out which one is the best deal by figuring out how much it costs for one. So you're just getting it down to 1. You're not expanding it. We're not doing that. So you would set it up pounds over cost. Make sure you have them the same. So 2 divided by $1.74 and 3 divided by 228. Figure out the cost that way. Or you can flip it if you want to do cost over pounds. It's up to you. But you can solve that. Put down the cost here. All you have to do is type. You all will have your own copy. And then put down the cost of the best deal. If you have questions or if this is totally confused you, please let me know and I will gladly explain this to you later today and help you through. So good luck. Thank you for being flexible today, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.